Welcome on into another episode of Crypto Dough. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. Get me to 10,000 subs. But before we get into what free banking is and how this will, especially the digitalized free banking system that's upcoming, I'm going to explain that to you guys. But first, we're going to do a history lesson. Let's dive into it and let's talk about let's see what the market is doing. Coin market cap. What is the market doing right now, right? As far as the market cap is at 2.7 trillion. The CMC 100 is at 167.75. The altcoin index, we're at a 21 out of 100. Look at the fear to greed index. The fear to greed index right now, we're at a 27. So people are afraid, right? It was just at a 15. So we're actually coming on up, but people were afraid. Now, what is free banking? We're going to talk about what is free banking, and I have a quick video to explain what free banking is, and then I'm going to tie that into how free banking and stable coins is going to revolutionize the banking system as we know it. Each bank will have its own currency, basically, and they're going to use crypto technology in order to do so. They're going to use stable coins in order to do so. Why do you think Trump is pushing so much for stable coins? Think about it. But let's get into today's show. Let's get into today's show. And right now, we're going to start off with a bit of, well, what is free banking? Right? This is by Professor Lawrence H. White. This is by Professor Lawrence H. White. Let's tune in to see what he has to say about it.
Ordinary debates about monetary and banking policy take it for granted that a government central bank, like the Federal Reserve System, will continue to provide money and that government regulators will continue to limit what banks may do in the payment system. Here, I don't want to take that for granted. I want to help you think about the idea of free banking, a system where we replace the central bank with competitive firms and free markets that provide the full range of monetary and banking services. We have to go outside the box, as they say, to think about the consequences of allowing.
Listen to what he just said. The keyword right there, competitive firms in free markets. What free market are we currently in right now? Can someone say, put a 1 in the chat if you believe it's the cryptocurrency market, put a 2 in the chat if you believe that it's the fiat market, put a 3 in the chat if you believe that it's the real estate market, put a 4 in the chat if you don't know what market we're, or what competitive firms we're currently in, what free market we're currently in right now. The answer is we're in the crypto blockchain market. It's a free market right now. That's why it's no regulations as we speak, because it's literally a free market. Now, regulation is soon to come, right? And that's why stablecoins to me is going to be so important. Why do you think that Bank of America invests in, for example, Ripple technology, which is XRP? Why do they own their patents? Don't you think that they know what's to come? The bankers and the banciers and all of these, the banksters, right? They are literally investing in the future as well. They see what's to come. Why do you think that MoneyGram invested in XLM? They invested in that competition. This is no coincidence. Saying it all to say, stablecoin things like RLUSD, Circle, USDC, these things are going to shape the new money market, which is a free market. But let's continue.
To go outside the box, as they say, to think about the consequences of allowing private banks to issue money unrestrictedly and having a monetary system without a government central bank. Fortunately, this isn't social science fiction. We can draw on a rich history of free banking experiences. The successful free
Blue, and you happen to be correct, Blue. Number one, the crypto blockchain. You guys know the free market, the thing that they tried to sue XRP about. I'm like, this. I knew that this court case was BS, right? Because how could you sue someone if you understand how the 3 branches of government? How can you sue someone when we don't have any regulations? This is like a free market, Wild Wild West. We literally don't have any regulations, no do's and don'ts. So how can you sue someone for doing something that he or she didn't know that it was illegal to do unless it became a law? So now crypto to me is about to become law. Also, I just put purchase your crypto beginner guide. I pinned it to the top of the chat. You guys go check that out as well. Now let's continue.
Free banking system of Scotland before 1844 is a leading illustration of the results of minimizing government restrictions on banking and money issue. But we can also look at New England before the US Civil War, Canada before the First World War, more than 50 other places where money was issued by competing private banks subject to minimal restrictions. In historical free banking systems, the basic money was gold or silver coin. The coins could be privately minted, although governments usually monopolized the minting industry. Banks issued currency notes and checkable accounts denominated in standard coin and redeemable for it. To attract customers, each bank tried hard to make its notes and checks accepted at 100 cents on the dollar.
And this is another thing that I had to realize, right? Because I like to study money, right? This part right here. You see these things on the screen right here? It's called notes. The bank, right? Have you ever noticed though all banking term it has something to do with water laws, banks, currencies, liquidity. It all has something to do with water laws, which is how private institutions co-create money. It's all about the private sector, not the public. You can choose which sector you want to operate on. You want to operate in the public or the private, your choice, right? But that's just a money lesson right there. But notes. I'm going to get me some notes. And you want to know why I thought about it? Now, notes. What are notes? Notes are something you can use to retrieve money. To say, hey, I am me. This is what I do. Give me some money. Some people work for money. Some people literally ask for money. That's where the word funds come from. These are the people that literally ask for money, right? You have a crypto fund, you have a real estate fund. You know what I'm saying? These are things that are funded by people, right? So saying it all to say, I notice a lot of people like having LLCs. I don't think that's going to be a great thing because you're limited to your funds, right? If you want millions and billions of dollars, I don't think an LLC will get you there because it's limited. It's a limited liability company, correct? Now, this is about money. It's a crypto do channel. We're talking about money, right? Crypto is money. Money is crypto. So saying it all to say, it's best, not financial advice, but it's best to actually have a corporation. Because with a corporation now, you get to have your notes. You can go get some funding. So underneath Crypto Do, which is underneath my other business, which my main business called Blockchain Do, which is a corporation. So I can go on the behalf of Blockchain Do and say, hey, bank or private sector, or let's do some crowdfunding. I need a couple $1 million. And they will grant me that access. Right. So all I'm saying is that we're doing a history lesson to say, hey, pay attention to how you set up your business. Pay attention to how the rich uses banks and uses notes to actually crowdfund and get money and ask for money. Pay attention. Let's continue.
Redeemable for it. To attract customers, each bank tried hard to make its notes and checks accepted at 100 cents on the dollar everywhere its customers went, because people wouldn't want to carry a money that fell to a discount or fluctuated in value. Trustworthy bankers made agreements with one another. If you accept my notes at face value, I'll...
And that's where the stablecoins come in. That's why I say stablecoins are going to be so important upon this revolution of the new digital infrastructure that's about to be rolled out. Stablecoins have to be the center of it because that's the only thing that's going to peg 1-to-1 to something. You can have USD, that same stablecoin that could be interoperable with maybe Circle, maybe with a RLUSD, maybe Bank of America create its own stablecoin, maybe JP Morgan may create their own stablecoin, which I think they did. Maybe BlackRock wants to decide to create their own. These are the things that's going to happen, that I see and I foresee that's going to happen.
Will accept yours at face value. As a result, banknotes became interchangeable, and retailers had no more trouble dealing with many brands of banknotes than they have today dealing with checks written on many banks. Private banknotes proved more reliable over the years than government banknotes. Unlike a sovereign issuer that can devalue its own currency if it so chooses, or quit redeeming it entirely, no private bank can renounce its contractual obligation to redeem in full and get away with it in a court of law. And unlike a bank with a government-sheltered monopoly, no private bank in a free banking system can attract customers if it undertakes risky strategies, like holding inadequate reserves or making risky investments that would make the public worry about its reliability. Each bank has its reputation to protect in a system where its customers can easily turn elsewhere for money and banking services. So here's the takeaway. Money is not an exception to the rule that a free market is the most efficient system for providing goods and services. Free banking worked well. Central banks, like the Fed, did not come on the scene because of any free market failure to achieve efficiency. In many countries, the government created a central bank in order to have an institution willing and able to lend it money on easy terms. Today, the pressure continues on central banks to print money to pay the government's bills. As the failures of central banking systems continue to mount, the alternative of free banking deserves our reconsideration.
And the alternative, to me, they're about to switch back to history. The alternative is coming back to what it actually is. Free banking. Free banking is going to be somewhat highly competitive in a couple of years, definitely before 2030. Free banking is definitely going to be highly competitive in the United States. If we want to be the crypto capital, right, we must do these things. We literally must. And it's a reason why we're doing these things, because the infrastructure must be built out. The infrastructure has to be built out in order for these things to even be possible. It must be built out in order for these things to be possible. So that was just a quick lesson on free banking. Let's go a little bit deeper, right? Let's see what Wikipedia has to say about free banking, right? We want to learn something today. We got to learn about free banking because that's the way I see the world. It's going to be competitive free banking, which is going to lead to the private sector. What is free banking, right? Let's read. Let's read for a second. Let's read for a second, right? This is Wikipedia. Free banking is a monetary arrangement where banks are free to issue their own paper currency, banknotes, while also being subject to no special regulations beyond those applicable to most enterprises. In a free banking system, market forces control the total quantity of banknotes and the deposits that can be supported by any given stocks of cash reserves. Let's just say crypto reserves, because where I see that. Where should reserves consist either of a scarce commodity such as gold, of an artificial limited stock of fiat issued by central banks? Why do you think tokenization is going to be so big? Like LCX is tokenizing the world as much as XDC will be tokenizing gold and different commodities. You have real estate that will be tokenized. Everything you can think of will be tokenized, right? Let's continue. In the strictest version of free banking, however, there is either no role at all for central banks. Listen, or the supply of central banks' money is supposed to be permanently frozen. Let me repeat that for the people that's just coming in. Listen, the answer is right in front of us. In the strictest version of free banking, which I think is going to get very competitive, however, there is either no role at all for central banks. Why do you think they're rolling out a new centralized system? Do you guys know that Ripple is centralized? Just saying. Just saying. To me, he has one of the best technologies. Just saying. He also has his own stablecoin, RLUSD. Just saying. It's not like Tether, which is pegged to Bitcoin, which if Tether, the United States don't recognize Tether, then Bitcoin is going to come crashing down. Other places don't accept Tether anymore because of illegal speculations, illegal allegations, right? But that's a whole nother story. RLUSD, to me, is the only thing that have clarity. It's one of the only crypto, if not the only one, that I could say that have government clarity. It's the only one. It's literally the only one. Let me repeat. It is the only one. But let's continue. Either no role at all for the central bank or the supply of central bank money is supposed to be permanently frozen. There is therefore no government agency acting as a monopoly, lender of last resorts, leaving that to the private sector, as happens in the US in the Panic of 1907. Nor is there any government insurance for bank notes or bank deposit accounts. I don't think y'all understand. This is the picture right here that I want most people to recognize what's going on. This is a picture of the government. A government of the people, by the people, for the people. But look at the fact that the government is above the people, is above by the people, and it's above for the people. So the government is for the government. It was designed to be for the people, but for some miraculous reason, it's just literally for their own incentives. That's due to change because crypto has changed that. Just saying. It's what people have been fighting for decentralization, because we understand being centralized is actually a problem because it goes to the center of which is the source, which is the government. That's the source. So everything leads back to Silk Road, which then leads back to the government. People don't want that anymore. We never did want that. We didn't vote for that. We got okey doke in doing those things. That's what they call it, the central banking system. Now we have something called the decentralized banking system where you get to own your own ledger, you get to own your own bank, you get to lend your own money out, you get to get your own ROI on your investments. You get to tokenize things for the first time in history. This is the new rollout. Now, will we have a fight to fight against centralized things? Of course. But I think people would do both. They would do centralized activities and they will also do private activities, which may be decentralized. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about that. This is Crypto, though. We're talking about free banking and how free banking in the near future, in the new world, it will be highly competitive, and each bank will have their own stable coins. From Circle to USD to RLUSD to whatever technology they plan on building on, they will have their own stable coin just as much as they use their own notes back in the days in order to cash out. That's why you can write checks from Wells Fargo and cash it in Chase, or cash it from Chase to Bank of America or local branch. This is what made it interoperable. Now we have something called stable coins, which they're going to digitize their whole bank notes. They're going to digitize it and build it on top of a technology. The question will be, what technology are they going to use? Are they going to use the one that you don't have to pay but 0.0000 fraction of a penny in order to transport as much money as you can in a fraction of a second in 3 to 5 seconds, not 3 to 5 business days? Think about it like that. But leave your thoughts down below. I'm just giving food for your thoughts. This is food for your thoughts right here about the free banking world and how I see that's going to be connected with stable coins, which ultimately going to be connected with blockchain technology, which is going to roll out brand new innovations. This is Crypto Though once more. I appreciate everyone for tuning on in. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, hit the bell notification, purchase your crypto beginner guide. On that note, put on your seatbelts. It is time to take off. Crypto Dough in 5,